Hi. And once again, I'm coming back to the Nobel laureates, the economics prize for 2025, creative destruction leading to economic construction. All right, so that is a 1987 paper. It is shared by Professor Howitt and the French economist Philippe um, uh, Philippe Philippe Gagnon, I think. Gagnon. I beg your pardon if I'm not gotten, but last time I got the name right. All right, and so this going back to the same problem I discussed the last time, in lieu of the fact that Prime Minister Mark Carney has come up with his Bill C5, I believe, which says that I've written about all this a number of times and spoken about this, but then I still get all confused. All the time you can't have points down pat, right? I mean, it's Bill C5, where he says that for the future of a better Canada, building Canada, making it better, and for construction which needs, they he then his Liberal government may break down treaties which exist with the Indigenous people. That's one of the items on the agenda. All right, so going back to Justin Trudeau's time as Prime Minister of Canada, he did break the treaty with the Wet'suwet'en people in British Columbia to make way for the coastal gas pipeline and going from Dawson Creek to Kitimat in BC. And this is by the LNG, company, liquefied natural gas. And so looking at that as a problem, what I did. All right, so this is an engineering optimization problem. I spoke about Professor Lewis. He used to look at optimal control of a reaction and of a process, chemical process. And at some point in time, I'm going to look at this. So creative destruction leading to economic construction. So I looked at certain constraints and said that this would be equal to the sum total of the constraints would be equal to 1/20th of the GDP. And I got matching, values converge. So rather than doing what I did the last few times, linear programming, a very laborious process on the internet, taking, sort of the matrices of the coefficients of each of you were constraints, equation, and, may happen, and performing mathematical operations on these, I just looked at the constraints and gave one equation, maximizing this value. All right, so economic construction should lead, from creative destruction should lead to definitely a positive value. I just let this run in Excel, giving values ranging from 1 to 25 items, sort of 1 to 25 iterations, and each value, and of course in Excel I had to scale down rather, yes, scale down, because the 250 million, there's no hope of Excel ever coming up with it, right? So these were my constraints. A lot of feedback, all right, these were my, so this would be maximize GDP. So this would be equal to 0.05, 1/20th of the GDP, right? So plus or 1/20th of this value is the GDP. So maximize percent and GDP. So that would be, 1/20th would go here, 20% GDP. So this is what that is. All right. So this we're hoping would be 20% of the GDP. It would contribute so much to the economic construction of Canada. So Wet'suwet'en 3. So X1 is less than or equal to 0. This would be land units in many kilometer or acres, hectares, etc. Treaty with Wet'suwet'en being destroyed. All right. So X2. conservative estimate of settlement. So, so, 75, too much money means, you're a defunct society. Always don't make, unless, as somebody let slip. Donald Trump, has really, he's not one of the favorite presidents, or according to the press. But there have been Republican presidents. I mean, there have all been there have always been Republicans and Democrats. And he it's not good. He draws negative attention, that sort of thing. But then, as I'm sort of cute, he has 3 wives, and so much of alimony, so much of etc. So things don't work out all the right way all the time. So this is extra. I lost the point of what I was saying. This was not probably a relevant point. I apologize. All right. Conservative estimate of settlement, $75,000 less than, and you can't get too much. That was what I was saying. $75,000 less than X2, less than 250, or equal to $250,000 for the Wet'suwet'en. This was a settlement for the Wet'suwet'en because they took away their land. So this could be wrong. I have no idea. I'm just basing it on some some possible assessment of the values around that I have, because I'm a shopper and I buy and that sort of thing, and I've paid bills in the past, and all the bills and everything. So this X3 is greater than or equal to 10 million over a period of time t equals 2 years. Improvement of construction in Canada leading to an increase in net treasury money. So over 2 years, you're going to get so much of money. And this does not include costs of construction. And this does not. All right. So costs of construction, $100,000 less than or equal to X4 is less than or equal to 2 million. Cost of construction. That was the cost of the Coastal Gas Pump Pipeline. So I looked at it in Excel, and the points converge to. So minus, plus or minus X1, remember. So creative destruction minus, it takes away from the total value, or it adds to the total value. So this is, I took it in units of less than or equal to 0, in units of 1. So it didn't cause a significant change, but to remember minus or plus, kilometer, but then units of, each scalar, it could be, one could be 100,000 kilometers. All right, so 100,000. So let me quickly see if I can adjust a value here on my Excel sheet. Oh, this is okay. Have considered that 1/20th of the sum of the value, which is percent GDP, is equal to. So I spoke about all that. Converges when X1 is equal to plus or minus 8, and then around X2 is less than or equal to 90,000. X3 is greater than or equal to 900 million. X4 is less than or equal to 900,000. So that's, so in minus 8, the value is 9995050 X1. So that's 99 million, but almost 100 million. And minus X1, 89 million. Yeah, 89 million. So 99 million, 89 million, just minus 8 and plus 8. That's the difference. So you can yourself try this out. It's a lot of fun, and you need to learn Excel. And I have to acknowledge my friend Obim, who quickly taught me when I was submitting my immense thesis. A little bit of the tips needed in Excel. All right, Obim, you were there for me when I needed you. All right, thank you. And sometime come and collect a nice dinner from me or a lunch. All right. with or without your family, preferably without, because we were friends with her. Because then, we could catch up on some little bit of few laughs here and there, but always welcome, with the wife and my husband, that sort of a thing. And the son, and my son's left home, but I guess your son's also left home. So I had my child late, actually, because I was in graduate school, 4+ years of graduate school. Before that, my husband was in graduate school. So, so things kind of, went slow in the direction of having a child. But then, he was a adorable child, full of beans when he was young, full of energy. Yeah. So, that sort of a thing. I remember our next door neighbor, Dale. She was this, quintessential of a successful feminist, blonde, not too well educated, because, the university background, right? Everybody is getting a master's, a PhD. So she I think she had a, undergraduate degree, and, she was the inspiration for my, me and my son, child son, heading off to Ottawa for a job, in hunt of a job. And she had this Audi, the next door home, and she would call my son, whenever he came, small child, here comes trouble. And what have we here? Trouble is my business, says Philip Marlowe. And there's a picture of a blonde in there. Who's the trouble? The blonde's the trouble. Do you see it leading someplace here? All right, I told you Dave was a blonde. And so that, and part two, as a shopaholic, once again, I got cards, and this is for Bezad. He was my assistant, actually. So Brad Sewell had made him my assistant for a period of 6 to 8 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, more like 6 to 8 weeks. And this is my poem for him. I'm going to read it out. How are you? Dear Bezat, how are you? A poem, Gayatri B. Sitaram. This is to you, Bezat, who was my assistant for 6 to 8 weeks, a fine chemical engineer and an equally fine man. I remember you as an engineer full of futuristic ideas and ideals and plenty of hope for the planet. A planet Earth which has been ravished by its possessors, us, the people, and the flora and fauna around. If climate change can be proven by thermodynamics and chemistry of the Earth, then my and your love for chemical engineering and related fields hold true a balanced equation of work, reversible pay, reversible research. All right, that's both ways. Equations going with both. Research could, you could, who knows? I get money, I'm going to invest in research. Well, you never know, I could do that. Pays to be nice to me, eh? So this is to Calvin. Calvin was getting a PhD then. He had come from the University of Saskatchewan. So this is his. This is the card. Did I show the card here? So this is the boss and the assistant. He used to call me his beautiful boss. Keep it coming, people. Keep it coming. I give fine. No, you have to be really professional. I had given him a reference. Sometimes I put my email doesn't work to a supervisor, and I had said that he had a future. Because he was so conscientious. He worked hard. This is just a joke. Oh, this is this way. Oh, this is this way. All right, it's good. All right, dear Calvin, poem. How are you? A poem, Gayatri B. Sitaram. So these are fun romantic poems, all right? The more fun poems. This is to you, Calvin. Wherever you are, let it be true of you that you're a fine chemical engineer with a PhD in the same. It is true of Newton that he saw the force of gravity in an apple falling. While, quote, Eve's original sin, unquote, began with the apple falling. And you, Calvin, see the cause of the browning of the apple by tyrosinase. So apple's getting a little old out here. Maybe Eve, Testosterone aided by adrenaline has become passé. But an enzymatic reaction to make testosterone and adrenaline in vitro could start the whole cycle again, in vivo this time. Amen. This is what I said, and those were my poems. Now, next, last portion. I need a little bit of sip of water. Beg your pardon. This is to Chet Baker, and before I continue, Chet Baker is the best musician around at this time, but and for always, because I have a couple of CDs from him. Yesterday, Alan Cross on Q107 said Fanny Hill, an all-girl band, broke up in 1975 and played their 1972 song. They sounded good. This was way back before, soon after the feminist movement, all-girl band. And another grunge band, Mudhoney, was the first grunge band, and their song, Touch Me, I'm Sick. Touch Me, I'm Sick, sort of, with the grunge music. But Kurt Cobain took it to a whole new level because he came up with musical grunge, completely musical grunge. It was almost like like a beautiful lyrical poem being sung, but he was singing about sort of the most in some ways depressing of emotions in a way. It is very sad that he died. But press a moment for Kurt Cobain. Take some. Fuck me, I'm good. You are so special, but that's okay, for I'm fucking the Matrix 2x2. Kiss, make out, talk lunch. I like you, I'd like to say, but you say you are the Matrix Revolution. 2x2, work, pay, love, sex. I am the Matrix Reloaded. I like to make things happen, make the divergence converge to a maximum. Give a big hand of applause for Chet Baker. Thank you.